everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to show you an alternative to make your own stamps. And it's very easy, very simple, and also very cheap to do, and it's completely endless. You can make these forever and no one will have the same stamps as you have. So what you will need for this project is very simple. You will need some fun foam. The color doesn't matter because we're going to ink them up later on. You will need some ink. You will need scissors. You will need, maybe if you have decorative scissors like these, that's going to become very handy, and I'll show you this in the video. You will be able to use some punches or any kind of shapes you wish. A stylus will be handy, and if you don't have any, you can also use a pencil for this. You will also need some rubber bands. I'm gonna show you this, and liquid glue. That's gonna come handy too. So the first one I'm going to show you is this leaf here, and I really have a lot of fun making these, and I'm going to show you first the render of it. It's really nice, and I did some little handles because they really are handy. So I'm going to ink that one up. And I'm just using distress ink. You can use whatever ink you wish. And I'm going to press it down. You don't have to press hard for this. I'm waiting just a few seconds to make my ink transfer. Oh, this is very, very light. Let me take a little bit of this light off. There you go. And now I'm going to take it away. And look at that. Maybe going to zoom just a little bit more. There you go. It's very bright. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's not bright. Sometimes it is, depending on the brightness in my room. So there you have it. You've got a very nice leaf. And if you want to have more details, take your time. I've done this one fairly quickly. And I've got this one too. And I'm going to show you right now how I made the handle. When your stamp is over, I'm just taking a little bit of tape here. And I'm going to use it on the back of it because I haven't done this one. I'm just putting a little bit of tape on this side. I'm not gluing it down completely. I'm leaving my finger in the middle. I'm going on the other edge here. And I need to take my finger away. And now I have this shape here. I'm just going to pinch here. And it makes my little handle. So it's easy to pick up because otherwise if I don't do this, I'm going to have ink all over my fingers if I have to print it down. So I think it's just handy to move it around, and then you can always use your fingers to make a nice print. So I'm going to do this. And really you don't have to press hard. And I have another squishy foam pad underneath because that is really nice when you stamp. You have two squishies, this part and the other piece, because your print is not, it's much nicer. And there you go. Very nice print. I went a little bit too hard on the edges, so you can avoid this very quickly if you don't press too hard. So it's very easy. This one I made was just using, and I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to cut a little piece here of foam. And you can do these in any shapes you want. Circles, squares, ovals, whatever. And for these two, I've just punched out in some scrap pieces a few pieces here, a few circles. And I usually like to do it upside down so I see where I'm doing. And then what I did, and if you can see, you've got some shiny bits here. It's because I didn't use my hot glue gun for once. I just used some liquid glue because if I use hot glue, it's going to glue instantly at once. I'm sorry. And I want a little wiggle room because when you put all these pieces here, you want to have some time to make sure everything is in place. So I'm just using some regular white glue, putting them down as I go. And with my other scraps here, I just give them some shapes, any kind of shape. And I'm just putting them on my foam sheet very randomly. A little bit like mosaics. It's exactly the same where you're going to do it. Any shape, it will be absolutely fine. It's going to be completely abstract, and this is what I like as well. not always have a special pattern. You could make also a leaf using some scraps if you wanted to have even more dimension, but it's really easy to do. And you're gonna fill up your square here, glue them down, and you'll have to wait that it's completely dry before being able to use it. And usually what I like to do is put another piece, you might be able to see it, but I have another piece on the back of the first one just to make it a little squishier, because every time you're going to press down, you're going to make it thinner. So I'm using 2 pieces of foam and I'm just gluing them together. You can also use tape, double-sided tape to do that, but it makes it a little thicker, so it's easier when you want to press down. So for these 2, it's very easy. And I'm going to show you now for the leaf. So I'm going to use another piece. And for this I'm going to use a stylus, but if you want to use a pen, that will be fine. But maybe if you use a pen, the ink might transfer to your paper. So using a stylus I think is better. So I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to use the finer tip of the 2, because the finer, the more details you'll be able to put in. And I'm going to make a random shape of a leaf. So I'm really pressing down because I want to indent my my foam here, like if I was carving it. And I'm not really taking my time here, but I'm sure you'll see what I'm doing and you'll be able to do it better. And I'm going to put a line in the middle. And then you can really doodle inside here and do anything you like. I like doing swirls. So I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to come back exactly where I went before. Don't use something that is too pointy because you might rip or go through your foam and it's gonna damage it for good. So you want to press enough, but not too much. Oops, that you go. And you know why? I used my foam here and I pushed too hard. Don't do what I just did. And I'm just going to make a few, and I might use my bigger stylus here. And I just did exactly what I told you not to do. Well, you know what? I am not even to edit this. I'm going to leave it just to show you what not to do, and it's important. So I could leave it as is, but if I leave it like this, I'm going to also have ink on the sides, and this is something I don't want. I'm going to show you anyway, and first I'm going to put another piece of foam on the back, and I'm trying to, yeah, this one is going to be fine. So it will be ready. But anyway, before doing this, yes, let's keep on doing what I was wanting to do. I'm going to put some ink here. And I'm going to press it on my paper. And this is the print you're going to have. So I haven't pressed too much, but as you can see, I'm seeing the outline, and I don't want this outline. If you like it, you can leave it. But what I'm going to do right now is just, I'm going to cut my foam here along the line I've done here. And I'm going to put my other piece of foam. As I told you, I like to double it, and I'm going to cut these 2 at the same time. It's going to save me some time, and also I know I'm going to be able to cut them perfectly and stack them up later on. There you go. Okay, and now I'm going to glue these 2 pieces. I'm going to use just double-sided tape. You can use liquid glue. I wouldn't use hot glue for this because hot glue has got some dimension and it might ruin a little bit your design. Now I'm going to use my tape and I'm going to make myself the little handle. I've got less room here, but it's going to work just as fine. There you go, because it's really handy. A handy handle. What about that? And I'm pressing in my ink. Make sure that I've got ink everywhere. And now onto my paper. And if you're not happy with this, it's just a little piece of foam. You can do it again. And there you go. How's that? I mean, it's really nice, and nobody's going to have the same stamp as you have. And you could make other small little leaves and put them around, or make a flower, any pattern you want. And you will be able to use this piece of foam over and over again. If you want to change color of your ink, don't forget to wipe this out. But also, if you want to make some ghost prints, it works just like a charm. So I didn't put enough here. Let me put enough ink. It's just going to work like a normal stamp, actually. Pressing down. And then I'm going to do a ghost print. I can do like 3 or 4 of them, depending on how much you put. See, this one is still very vibrant. Look at that. Can you see that? I've got 3, and I could probably do 1 or 2 more. So this is perfect if you want to have ghost images for a background, for a card. That's exactly what you need. Look, how long did it take? A few seconds just to make 1 stamp. And if you want to put double-sided tape and put it on your block, that's absolutely up to you. And it's not going to take a lot of room either. So what I've done here, it's exactly the same technique, but I decided to make a bigger to use a bigger piece of foam, so you can use this directly. And I put a little handle just to be able to you know, grab it into my fingers without putting ink everywhere. And you can print just your card at the same length. So you're going to have 1 print and go along on the border of your card. That would be a great idea. And I've just doodled it. You know, any kinds of doodles will be fun. You can make it as wide as you wish. So this is another example, and I want to show you this one I made because I really thought it was funny. And I just made little circles exactly like I did with my leaf. Fun, fun, fun. I love to do this. And there you go. How's that? I really, really like it, and it's fun. And again, nobody's going to have the same. So I'm going to show you this. I did some frames, and it's very easy to do. And if you want to have this side like this decorated, what I used was my decorative scissors. So any kind of design will work. Maybe if it's too intricate, you may not see it very well into your foam, but it's very easy. So you take a piece of foam, you're going to use your decorative scissors, and you're going to start to cut into it. So it may not cut as well as it's going to cut into paper, but you need to take your time with this. I'm going to go on all sides. I'm going to try to make it even or straight this time. And there you go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've got here a piece of plexiglass, because you know these things sometimes are hard to find, especially in the country I live. So I just bought a plexiglass. I cut it because I had a very long stamp I wanted to use, and I couldn't find a very big block, and I just made myself a block. And it's so cheap to do, and you can make them the width you want. So now I'm going to use a little knife here, and I'm just going to cut into my foam. I'm going to make myself a frame. No more difficult than that. And no fancy tools. You've got an X-Acto knife already home. I'm sure you do. If you don't, you can use scissors to do this, but I think the X-Acto knife is better to get into this piece of foam. Need to really make this better. And this piece, you can use it to make your little circles, to punch out little circles. That's going to be a scrap of paper you're going to use. And now what I did here is that I just used a little piece of double-sided tape, put it on the back, and then you can use a non-stick surface to put them if you want to put them in a little baggie, because they really don't take a lot of space. Look at that. They're not going to take a lot of space. So I usually want to keep them in a little baggie or in a box closed, so it won't take too much dust, because otherwise you're going to find your dust otherwise on your paper. And I'm going to ink this one up. I can't really make any handle on this one, obviously. Ink it up well. And there you go. Let's see. Ah, not too bad. Not too bad. And you can see really all the details. Kind of, yeah, it's not too bad for something you made in 2 seconds. Look at that. It's a little crooked maybe, but it's really fun to do. And you can write your sentiment inside, happy birthday, or maybe just use the stamp you have. So these are very fun and easy ways to make your very own personalized stamps for nothing, really nothing. You could use also maybe some cardboard, but I do prefer using foam to make my raised areas, because it's really squishy and you need that squish to make a nice stamping. If you want to heat it up, that's also another way you can do it. Heat it up and you can make some prints in it. That would be another idea, and I might do this in another video and find the right things to put in it. Otherwise, this one, I'm sure you already know this trick, and you can also do it on a brayer, is using some rubber bands, and it's going to work as fine. Just one thing is that make sure that all your rubber bands you're using have the same thickness, because otherwise some of them may not appear on your paper. And I'm going to show you this. I hope it's going to do the same thing as it happened before. So I'm going to do it on this side of paper because it's clean. I'm going to ink it up. And I can already see that one is not picking up the ink, and I don't want to have ink here on the sides. And press. So what I'm doing is I'm just pressing on either side here just to make sure that everything is going to be nice and appear on my paper. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got all of them. That's good. But some of them you see there didn't print as much because I've got more thickness on one side than the other. But look at that. It's very personal, and every time it's going to be a little different if you want to change the place of your rubber bands. And that would be really nice for a background. It almost looks like a fence also. So yes, I mean, it's endless. Whatever you want to print, you'll be able to print it. So there you go. Tell me what you think. I really think it's unusual. It's fun. It's easy. You can use your scraps. It's not going to be very expensive, and you don't need to use anything particular. And look at that. This also could be nice to use. I could put this on another piece. Let me see, I've got one here, and that could make something nice. I'm going to try and make it right now. Let's see. Just let's pretend we've done it perfectly. Let's see. And I'm going to put it on this side. I like to have things that nobody else's have. Hey, why not? It's another way of having something unusual. There you go. And I will find some other ways. This one was just one way using fun foam, but I'm going to find out other ways to make your very own personalized stamps, and I will share this with you again. So please, if you like this video, give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to comment. I love reading you, and I'll always come back to you. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet, and share on social medias. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Take care, and bye-bye. Ciao.